So welcome to the session today, and we will be doing the last few items. Of course, in terms of the number of shlokas left, there are not too many shlokas left, but there are four themes to talk about. And in the last class or the last session, we had looked at the duties of the four castes. And of course, we had some comments on the way the translation had been. And I think what I was searching for but could not find was essentially a book, which now I know where it is. So just to complete the discussion the other day, so you know, see, New India is very different, and therefore, we also need to be updated as to what the professors of management think of caste. Okay, so I think I'd shared the cover of the book called Caste as Social Capital, the Complex Place of Caste in Indian Society by Professor R. Vaidyanathan. Professor Vaidyanathan was a very, very well-respected professor of finance at IIM Bangalore, and he was on the board of governors of RBI and many banks. He's retired, but he's very active. So he has written this book where I think I'd also shared the contents page to give you an idea. So he says that, you see, while it is always, you see, the negative press comes from the press that is basically anglicized. It also comes from some of the fractures which were introduced by the Indian polity and politicians. But when it comes to business, he says that, caste categories are very important because there is a lot of social capital that happens around the caste that you are in. Because when it comes to business, you need a lot of support. You need support of your family. You need support of your community for capital raising and all that. So he looks at that and says, of course, it's a very interesting book, and I cannot summarize the entire book, but the sum and substance is that in the Indian context, if you look at, see, he has also written a book called India Inc., India Inc., saying that 70% of the business that is done in India is done by small family-run businesses. So therefore, family-run businesses are essentially caste and community-based businesses. And therefore, modern management theorists have not been able to understand the kind of support the community gives, the kind of fallback options they have. Because when you are on the professional side and you go for angel investors, you see the big ticket unicorns and so on and so forth, which is typically a Western import for big money. But who talks about big money when 70% of India's economy is run by small businesses? And therefore, he says that we should not underestimate caste at all, keeping aside whatever obstacles and mental pictures that get created by the press. If you look at hardcore, he gives examples. He gives examples of the shoe industry in Agra. He gives examples of the textile industry in Tirupur, and he gives many examples where it is the community that actually supports the fresh entrepreneurs, supports the youngsters, and so on and so forth. So of course, that is the scope for, and that essentially boils down to the acceptance of the duty that has come down over a period of time. Of course, the modern trends are changing the entire complexity and dimension of the caste-based. So caste is a very nasty word because it has been used too many times. The community is a better word, but it means the same thing. And therefore, the point that Professor Vaidyanathan makes is that India's economy is run by caste/community-based businesses, and therefore it is social capital, it is economic capital, and we are able to capitalize on that, we would not be doing justice. Because India has a huge tradition of merchant banking, of hundis, and all traditional methods, which we in the business school tend to neglect and tend to downgrade in terms of understanding. But you have to understand that when India was controlling 40% of the world trade, even as late as 1750, all the banking, all the institutions and procedures and methods to support a mercantile commerce was already there in one form or the other. And therefore, it is these indigenous forms married with technology that will actually take us forward. So we need to understand our duty and do our duty is being sort of reinforced without the negative connotations from the sociologists and the politicians and the leftists and the rightists. Because for politics, people create a lot of rupture, but economically, it is the powerhouse of India. And that is the reason why India is a booming economy. India really does not suffer when the world cycles are bad, does not suffer that much, because the tradition of merchant and merchanting, if I can use that, is a very old tradition. So it's not new in India, except for the British period. Even when the Mughals were there, I am told that there was great commerce in India because it was still till 1750. It's only after the Battle of Plassey in 1756, when the British took over Calcutta presidency and they took over, that they started leaking money out from India, and therefore the economic decline of India began. Otherwise, India was a powerhouse, and therefore all this business tamasha that we are getting gaga over that so and so has become CEO of Twitter or of Google or whatever, it's all a part of the Indian tradition. Anyway, so that was simply to elaborate on item number 4. It's a book I would presume is worth reading. I've read it. It's pretty good. So with that,
Raj, there is a raised hand by Atul. Raj, there is a raised hand by Atul. Please attend.
Atul,
yeah, if I can just add to it, Raj.
Please go ahead.
I saw one of his interviews with Rajiv Malhotra on YouTube. So anyone can look that up. Rajiv Malhotra with Professor Vaidyanathan. I saw it maybe a year, 2 years ago, but it should be available. And he was talking about, same things about caste and community and, how they actually, there are great benefits of the way the business is done with the families.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all. So,
absolutely. You're very right.
Malhotra,
Yes, that was, you are right, Atul. I think that interview happened after the book was released. So Rajiv Malhotra had this interaction because it was on the basis of the book. The book, if I just look at the blurb or if I look at the inner page, was published in 2019. So yes, exactly 2 years ago, I think he would have caught hold of Professor Vaidyanathan, Rajiv, because he interviews a lot of people who are, supporters of the traditional wisdom in India. So you're very right there. It's worth looking at. So that's a submission to everybody. Thanks for, adding on and
thank you, Sunil. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see that at all. I don't know where because I lost it. Sorry, my apologies. Okay. Now coming to the next part, which is the means to obtain Brahma Sakshatkara. So you see, there is no, how would you maintain continuity between the concept of the 4, castes which have been given and the Brahma Sakshatkara? So it is very interesting. So it simply says, in 1850, it simply says no from me. So there's an abrupt jump. So 4 castes is one subject which has been explained. And, of course, it kind of, closes, or rather the key idea there is Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha, that your duty is good and so on and so forth. Then 18.48 says one should not abandon one's duty. The actions can always there'll be a fault in whatever we do, but when we do our duty, it is ultimately something that will help us rise up in our own enlightenment. We cannot become enlightened with the pursuit of someone else's duty. That is a key point that is being made. Okay. Now coming to point number 5, which is what we have to really get into now. So there is an abrupt change, and between 1851 and 1853, we have 18.5, I'm sorry, 18, wrong. We again have a description of a person, as though he's a Muni, as though anybody. So my assumption for the injection of this is, while you will have a social duty to perform based on caste, that does not mean that anyone from any one of the castes cannot aspire for Brahma Sakshatkar. That is the point that is being made, because it simply says, and I'm going to read 51 to 53, one who is endowed with buddhi, one who has controlled the mind and abandoned the objects of senses, has dispelled attachment and aversion, resorting to a solitary place, eating little, speech, body, and mind subdued, always engages in meditation, and is dispassionate, leaving aside egoism, violence, arrogance. So there is again a description of the qualities of a person that make the person fit to have Brahma Sakshatkara. So these are in addition to whatever are your social duties. So my own inference is that Brahma Sakshatkara is not the exclusive domain of anyone. And the logic of putting it immediately after row number 4 is to tell that Jnana Nishtha or Brahma Sakshatkara is the birthright of any human being. And that is being spoken about in that row, particularly between shlokas 51 and 53. Okay. And then in 18.55, that topic is concluded by saying, through devotion, he knows me. So again, bhakti is emphasized because, I mean, so the interesting thing is Jnana Nishtha and Bhakti are emphasized in the same breath. So we can never ever say that Jnana is diverse from Bhakti or Bhakti is diverse from Jnana. When you have such kind of divorces, then you'll find your development to be incomplete. So if you are a great Bhakta, you are a Jnani. If you're a great Jnani, you will have tremendous Bhakti. So that is the point again being made. So that's also an interesting amalgamation, because the first point of amalgamation is it is not the exclusive right of anybody. Second one is it is not also exclusively only for Bhakti yogis or for Jnana yogis. Both of them have to have Nishtha in the sadhana that they do. And that is the message that we have in row number 5. That anybody with a degree of dhriti, a degree of sattvic dhriti, which we had, of course, seen in row number 3, which is jhelna, as we said, the ability to stand steadfast in your endeavor, is privy to Brahma Sakshatkara. Okay. Now, with that having been said, now we will turn to the 6th row, which is Nishkama Karma associated with Bhakti. So you see again what has happened. Jnana Nishtha associated with Bhakti. Now Karma Yoga associated with Bhakti. So in this kind of wrap up that we are seeing happening here, all the primary yogas have been indicated to be important. So teachers perhaps I had spoken about earlier, and the degree of bhakti, the degree of jnana, the degree of karma may vary from individual to individual in terms of how much of the circumference of a circle it may occupy, but you cannot be something of a pure type. You cannot be only karma yogi, you cannot be only jnana yogi, you cannot be only bhakti yogi. You will have, because that is human nature. So karma yoga is our will to action. Bhakti yoga is our emotional substance, and jnana yoga is our intellectual substance. So we cannot do anything without the intellect, without our emotions, and without obviously the body doing some work in service of the others for society. So that is a point that is being made here in terms of nishkama karma being associated with bhakti. Some of the key shlokas says that mentally surrendering, this is 18.57, mentally surrendering all actions to me, regarding me as your objective, always concentrating your mind on me, fix your heart on me, right? So you have Krishna as the objective, or Krishna, or your higher self. Okay, if you say I'm a Jnana Yogi, you say higher self, you say Brahman. The terminology changes, but then the aspirational point does not change. Okay. Now there is a little, in 8.59, there's a little warning given by Krishna, where he says, out of egoism, yad ahamkaram यद अहंकार आश्रित्य, अहंकार में आश्रय लेकर, न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे, तू नहीं लड़ेगा तो अगर तू ऐसे सोचेगा, मिथ्येष व्यवसायस्ते प्रकृति स्वनियोक्ष्यति. So your own nature will compel you to fight because you are a Kshatriya, you have a Swadharma, you will fight. So even if you think you maybe at the beginning of the war, you may say, I will not fight, but within 4 hours of the war starting, you will jump in. So these are all your mental agitations, which you need not subject yourself to because it is unbecoming of you. So your nature will make you fight. So do not try to think that you can avoid your duty. So with that, Bhagavan Krishna closes the Bhakti Nishkama Karma and Bhakti Yoga. Now, see, 18.61 to 73 is the last advisory from Krishna, and therefore it is very, very important. So I will begin, in fact, by quoting every shloka. We will go through every shloka. So 18, do we have enough time? Yeah, I think we have time for about 3 shlokas, 7 minutes left. Okay. So 18.61 is Ishvarah Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Junatishthati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudani Maya, which is Bhagavan resides in the heart of all. Hriddeshe Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe. Hrid means heart. Deshe means region. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानाम हृदयेषु तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि. वो आपके दिल में बैठ के आपको घुमा फिरा रहा है, revolving all creatures by prakriti as if mounted on a machine. So if you have a machine like a merry-go-round, the merry-go-round will keep running as long as the motor keeps running. So God is your motor, Bhagavan is your motor who's sitting within you, and he's the one who impels you to do all that you are doing. So that is 18.61, very important. Since you have this motor called Bhagavan in your heart who is running you, therefore what should you do? Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. 18.62. Tat prasadat parashantim sthanam prapsati shastra. Therefore you surrender to him with all your heart. He is in your heart, but with all your heart you surrender to him, because through his gaze, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsati shasvatam, you will be at peace and you will attain the highest if you pay homage to the Bhagavan sitting inside you first. You don't have to run around for any Tirath Yatra anywhere else. Bhagavan is sitting inside you. So that is 62. 63, what he says is, Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya vimashye tad asheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. So, iti te jnanam akyatam. Akyatam means मैंने आपको बोला. Jnanam, wisdom. And this wisdom is guhyam guhyataram. It is the secret of the secrets. Okay? Then, this is the beauty. This is the democratic spiritual tradition of India, which is on display. Then the second line of the shloka is Vimashyetat asheshena. Asheshena means without any, completely, without any leftover. Vimashya. Think over it. Then this is the beauty. This is where democracy comes. Yathechasi tatha karo. Aapki jo ichha hai वैसे करो. So in spite of all the do's and don'ts and yeses and no's that Krishna has told Arjuna, yet he says, please think over it, because your feel, though he says nimitta matram, you are an instrument. I've already killed Drona, I've already killed Karna, you have to be only an instrument. Yet, you see, unless we accept something totally from the bottom of our heart, we will never ever be able to have Shraddha in that. He tells Arjuna, therefore, have Shraddha and then do what you have to do. So whatever you do with Shraddha. That's 18.63. Then finally in 18.64 he says, Sarva guhya tamam bhuya shanume paramam vachah ishto si dradamati tato vakshyami te itam. So he says, again, I'm going to give you one little summary. So 18.64 is simply a connecting shloka, which is telling what's going to come. So it says that, look, I've told you the secret of secrets, but now I'm going to give the summary of the secret of secrets. So what is the summary? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru Mame vaishyati satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Now, if you recall, I had said about Shreyan Swadharma Viguna, which is 18.47 and 3.35. The first lines are the same. So if a line is replicated, there must be great importance in that. Now this is also replicated. So if you go to 9.34, which is the last shloka of the 9th chapter, the first line is exactly the same. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So you can check that out. I'll give you 1 minute to check it out. Go to 9.34. First line is the same. So what does Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mama? Fix your thought on me, be devoted to me, worship me, bow down to me. Mame vaishyati satyam te pratijane priyosi me. In this way, you will reach me. If you take 9.34, the second line is Mame vaishyasi yuktam ve atmanam matparayana. Slight variation in the second line, but first line is a ditto copy. So if someone asks you, look, has Bhagwan repeated himself in Bhagavad Gita, you can very clearly say that, look, in you, as far as your dharma is concerned, he has repeated himself, and as far as your bhakti is concerned, your sadhana is concerned, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji manmaskuru, he has again repeated his words twice in the Gita. So the importance of this is a kind of summary. This is what he has to tell. And because you are putting your mind, your body, everything on Lord Krishna, therefore he says, 18.66, this is a very famous shloka, Sarva dharman parityajya, आप सारे धर्मों को छोड़ो, माम एकम शरणम व्रजा, मुझ पे जो है पूरा भार छोड़ दो, अहम त्वा सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा अर्जुन, मैं तुम्हें सब पापों से मुक्त कर दूंगा. So this is very, very important for Vaishnavas, especially the Sri Vaishnavas who are the Iyengars in South India, as well as any Vaishnava, anybody from the Vaishnava tradition. These words are golden words which indicate that Bhagavan is there to support you. And therefore, if you do not understand, if you are not, simply put your faith, and the faith will be rewarded because God or Bhagwan will take care of you. That is the full-fledged bhakti statement that is being made in 8.66.
18.59 में भगवान ने कहा है कि अपनी प्रकृति वश तुम युद्ध अवश्य करोगे.
Yeah. So saying that your nature will compel you to fight.
और उसके बाद भी बोला है कि आप भली बात आलोचना का विचार कर लो.
Correct. So what he's saying is that, you see, you wanted to become a sannyasi in chapter 1, but that is not your nature. That is only the mental agitation which is making you think of becoming a sannyasi. But what will happen is that, let us say the war starts and you say, I won't fight. I guarantee that your nature will make you fight, क्योंकि भाई आपने जो है 50 साल या 35 साल ट्रेनिंग किया है धनुष बाण जो भी आपका है. So that force will be more than this little agitation which you're having in chapter 1. So प्रकृति आपकी जो आपका जो स्वभाव है वो आपको आगे लेके जाएगा. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, आदत से मजबूर, ये तो सिंपल छोटा चैप्टर 1 का एजिटेशन है जहां उनकी आदत जो है नहीं आ रही है. अदरवाइज अर्जुन तो आदत से और स्वभाव से क्षत्रिय है. So he cannot sit back. He cannot sit back. So the only point is, will you quote dishonor that you didn't start the battle and then you will jump in, or you should do the right thing of being a participant in the battle right from the first moment. That is the only point. Otherwise, your nature will make you fight, is what Bhagavan says, which means that each one of us has a different nature. जैसे कि मैंने उस दिन बोला था, आपको स्वाध्याय करना है, स्वाध्याय से आपको आपका स्वभाव मिलेगा, स्वभाव से आपको आपका स्वधर्म मिलेगा, स्वधर्म से आपको आपका स्वकर्म मिलेगा. So therefore, ultimately, we only do what is aligned to our swabhava at the end of the day, right? So the only so interestingly, if you look at the group here, out of so many people in the batch, only these few set of people are having the swabhava to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Correct. Why not all the others? Everybody is the same age, correct? So why not all the others is a question that you could ask. So the only reason is ये आपके स्वभाव में है, इसलिए आप अपने आप को रोक नहीं सकते. You cannot stop yourself, and you will come. But then you don't know that till you have tried, so you have thought over the Gita or whatever. This is my interpretation. I could be wrong. But then this is what the shloka really means, 18.59. Okay. Then I think we did. So
नहीं, मेरा पॉइंट ये था कि 18.61 ने बोले अभी भी विचार कर लो, विचार करके. What point I was making?
हाँ, so विचार करके अर्जुन को समझना चाहिए कि उसको प्रकृति आगे लेके ही जाएगी, तो ही better. So the answer of Arjun comes later, where he says, Arjun, this is in 18.73. He says, Nashto moha smritir labdhva tat prasadat mayachutah sthito asmi gata sandeh karishye vachanam tava. आपने तो मुझे छुटकारा दिया है to do whatever I want, but I करिष्ये तव वचनम, जो आपने बोला वैसे ही मैं करूंगा. So 18.73. So while God has given him the freedom, yet understanding all the other logic, Arjuna very correctly says that, look, the freedom that you have given me to accept or reject, that wisdom is making me only accept. But I'm accepting fully from my side, and therefore karishye vachanam tava. आपका जो वचन है वो मैं निभाऊंगा.
Raj, I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe Rajesh is saying something, then I'll say after that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Rajesh, go ahead.
श्लोक नंबर 66 में जो कहा है शरण में आ जाइए, तो उसका ये कि एक्शन पॉइंट इंडिविजुअल से क्या मीन करते हैं. कभी कभी कंफ्यूजन ही होता है कि अपना कर्म भरपूर कर दे, फिर उसको उस पे डिपेंड ट्रस्ट करना है. तो ट्रस्ट करने के लिए कुछ वे होता है कि बिलीफ सिस्टम या कुछ एविडेंस नहीं मिलता, कभी कभी तो शेक हो जाता है ट्रस्ट. तो हाउ टू स्टेबलाइज दैट, और लिटरली मीनिंग क्या है कि अपने एक्शंस या अपनी लाइफ को शरण में जाने का हमारी तरफ से जरा एलोबरेशन कर दें तो वो कंफ्यूजन कुछ दूर हो जाएगा मेरा, कि वो शरण में जाने का मतलब होता है कि छत्र छाया तो है, बट व्हाट एक्स्ट्रा वी नीड टू डू.
So the thing is, so let us say that you have put your faith in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, you read the Bhagavad Gita every day. फिर भी आपके साथ जो है कुछ नेगेटिव होता है, correct? But then you have to understand कि जब भी नेगेटिव होता है, भगवद गीता डज नॉट से कि आपके साथ नेगेटिव होगा ही नहीं. भगवद गीता सिर्फ ये कहता है कि जब नेगेटिव होगा आपके साथ तो आप में झेलने की शक्ति होगी, एंड यू विल बी एबल टू मूव अहेड. अब अगर जो है नेगेटिव कुछ आया और आपने कहा भाई भगवद गीता से नेगेटिव नहीं आएगा, और आपने भगवद गीता पढ़ना छोड़ दिया, तो आपकी श्रद्धा गीता में नहीं है. सो द थिंग इज दैट देयर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स व्हिच आर कॉल्ड श्रद्धेय. उनमें श्रद्धा रखना जो है परंपरा की बात है, समझना भी परंपरा की बात है. तो अगर आप गीता में श्रद्धा रखेंगे, उसको समझेंगे भी, तो it's not a guarantee of smooth sailing. It is a guarantee of your brain being absolutely cool in spite of whatever storm comes, because there will be ups and downs. But सुख और दुख दोनों रहते हैं, लेकिन आप उसके परे हो जाते हैं. Because if dukha comes, you don't get bogged down. If sukha comes, you don't jump up and down. So you're able to use your buddhi very well. So that is the key point. What Bhagavan says is always sama buddhi. भाई जब अच्छा होता है, जब पैसे होते हैं या जो भी होता है, whatever is the good, whichever way you define, you must not be looking down upon others and being arrogant. At the same time, in everybody's life, as we have all experienced, because we have done a lot of surviving 30-40 years of professional work and family life, we know that there are ups and downs, but then the down should not say that, oh, God is not there. We have to understand the nature of life itself is up and down. In the Shastra is a way to give you the equanimity to handle that. Samabhav, correct, absolutely. So yes, Atul, over to you. You had wanted to,
Okay, right. Yeah, thank you.
मेरे को ये पूछना था कि you know संस्कृत very well. ये हम लोग हिंदी में जब बोलते हैं दोस्तों से ना, मैंने कृष्णा कई बार अर्जुन को बोलते हैं कि तू मेरा सखा है और फ्रेंड है, तो हिंदी में तू, तुम और आप होता है, संस्कृत में भी वैसी तू, तुम और आप होता है?
संस्कृत में है ना, so it is त्वम and भवान. So त्वम is more common, भवान is आप.
अच्छा,
भवान भवती है वो,
तो
आप आपके लिए है, करेक्ट.
अच्छा, तो अर्जुन जैसे कृष्णा अर्जुन से बोलते हैं कि तुम मेरे दोस्त हो, एंड अर्जुन भी कई बार बोलता है तुम मेरे दोस्त हो, और कभी ज्यादातर बोलता है कि आप मेरे दोस्त हो, राइट?
So in Hindi he is using the familiar term. If he uses tvam, it is the familiar friendly term, the more informal term. If you use bhavan bhavati, it is a slightly elevated tone, but Sanskrit itself is a polished language, so there is no rude word in Sanskrit. So it does not mean that tvam is very familiar. It is only our own understanding that we are differentiating, but technically jo bhavan bhavati hai, which is, it is also a word form of tvam only, two. So there is no difference. In other words, someone was telling me, I was reading somewhere, in Sanskrit there is no abuse at all. Correct? Because it's a cultured language. Therefore, there is no term which is not polite.
Okay. So two can sometimes be taken as impolite. So
that is in Hindi.
Is there.
या जैसे हम लोग लखनऊ में है, गाली भी देते हैं तो गाली देने वाले को आप कह के देते हैं.
Right.
आप जो बहुत पागल हो.
आप बहुत पागल हो.
Yeah, but yes, I have heard about that. Same way in, I'm told, of course I have not been there, in say Tamil Nadu also, when you go to Madurai, Madurai is that very classical city, Madurai Meenakshi temple and all. So there the Tamil that is spoken by people is very polite. Very, very polite. So there are always some cities in every state where I think the language is very polite, and they maintain that. But yes, so to answer your point, Atul, there is no differentiation in Sanskrit.
Okay. So it's kind of like you for in English, you is for everybody, whether you're older or younger or anything. So there is tvam and there is bhavan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
In fact, just 1 minute. To be absolutely accurate, I'll just give you 1 minute. I'll just tell you what this means.
इन सब सेशन से भाषा की पकड़ भी मजबूत होती है.
बिल्कुल सर. उपचंद्रिका भूभव. Sorry, मुझे उसका reference नहीं मिल रहा है immediately, but I'll just dig it out, which is basically, all those word forms. But anyway, I mean, that's for my knowledge also, correct? So that I can recall. Yeah. So coming back to, I think the basic dialogue.
Thanks.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rajesh.
My interruption. So, Rajesh ने जो कहा, that has a lot of, a lot of intricate part of it. कि ये देखो किसी को, इतनी आस्था का मतलब है कि, you have the full समर्पण. जो लिखा हुआ है वो, you have to, digest it, absorb it and then follow it. Correct? तो बहुत बार जो है, ये इस लेवल पे absorb होना, it becomes difficult. तो, होता है, but लेकिन फिर वो बढ़ जाता है. तो, are there any standard methods, कोई उसका तरीका है, या, you have to keep on reading it and, build your astha into it.
The only way is to keep on reading it. Only way to keep on reading it, because you will find that when you keep reading the Gita, your thinking constantly changes when you understand. Even at a recitation level, the Gita is taken to be good, but further at a level of understanding every shloka, it will change you. There's no doubt, because this is from personal experience first. It's not that I know I may have collected all the books of the Gita, but I never read them very seriously while I was. It's only as I've shared, 2013, 2015, I was in deep trouble. And that is when I said, okay, I will do two things. Yeah. I will chant Vishnu Sahasranamam and I'll chant Bhagavad Gita. I took this decision. Correct. Vishnu Sahasranamam, I was fairly familiar because you hear MS Subbulakshmi Vishnu Sahasranamam in any South Indian household, wo MS Subbulakshmi ka lag jata hai. So that I've heard as a kid. So it was not that difficult for me to start chanting Vishnu Sahasranamam. But Bhagavad Gita is not something that is chanted as such. So I took up and I fumbled and I kept on chanting every day, one chapter, 10 shlokas, till the momentum got built up. And then suddenly, so maybe it is a consequence of having collected so many Gitas that I chanted, or I don't know. But I can tell you that definitely, the kind of trouble that I was in 2015 is now a past memory. It's not there at all. And my nishtha in the Gita is very, very high. I absolutely, say that it will transform you and your life in multiple ways that you cannot imagine. But this is out of not having read it somewhere. See, I may read a commentary from somewhere when I do not understand, but my nishtha is my own. Correct? It is from my own experience. So you may get interpretation from someone else because it's a point of view. But nishtha has to come from your own. Uske liye time lagta hai because unless there is passage of time and different events and your reaction to different events, it does not build up. So my submission is that the only way to build up is to simply say, boss, मैंने ये रोज पढ़ना है बस. That's just the primary decision that you can take. I will read one chapter a day, no matter what. Whether I understand, whether I'm sick or whether I'm not sick or whatever it is, I will read one chapter a day in Sanskrit, if possible. Otherwise in Hindi, because the meaning has to be absorbed first. Right. So you read in Hindi or you read in any language that you're comfortable with. And then once the meaning gets into you, then you'll be automatically interested in the Sanskrit part of it. I don't know whether I have read to you the whole Gita, which is there. I'll just tell you. It's actually wonderful. Appropriate. I think I read it out once to the group, but it is a wonderful sort of summary of the Gita, which goes like this. Just pulling it out. So it is appropriate to read it. It's called Gita Sar. I think I showed this to you once, right? मैंने पहले भी एक बार ये दिखाया हुआ है. I think it is very appropriate. Yes. So it is very appropriate to read this because it is wonderful. So if you don't mind, since we have more or less completed the 18th chapter, I'm going to read this. So it's wonderful. It is really wonderful. So here we go.
Yeah, please.
कुरुक्षेत्र रणभूमि माही, धर्म अधर्म के निर्णय ताही, कौरव पांडव दोनों भाई, सम्मुख सेना आन सजाई. वो देखो अर्जुन बलवान, सारथी जिसके कृष्ण भगवान, हाथ जोड़कर विनय है करता, हे केशव हे दुख के हरता, देखा चाहूं हे ब्रजनाथ, मुझे है लड़ना किसके साथ. रथ ले आए तब भगवान, दोनों फौजों के दरमियान. रण में देख खड़े सब बंधु, अर्जुन कहे हे करुणा सिंधु, मन मेरे में उठे विचार, कुल नाश का यह विस्तार. बंधु मार जो राज कमावे, पापी सारे जग कहलावे. चाहे मिलकर सब करें वार, मैं ना पकड़ूंगा कल हथियार. अर्जुन दिया धनुष को छोड़, रथ में बैठा दिल को तोड़। अर्जुन की यह देख दशा महाराज ने हंस दिया और कहा, अर्जुन नादान, यह है तेरा सब अज्ञान। जन्म मरण का भेद न जाने, विद्वानों सी बात बखाने। नाशवान इस देह को जान, इसमें जीव अनादि मान।
So
शस्त्र
wonderful.
छिदे
Thank you.
न पानी गावे। एब्सोल्युटली। अग्नि जरे न धूप सखावे सुखावे। यह है नित्य अचल अविनाशी, सर्व सनातन घट घट वासी। जन्म मरण में कभी न आया, न है रूप न रखे काया। ज्ञानी मृत्यु को ऐसी ऐसी जाने, जैसे उतारे वस्त्र पुराने। बाल जवानी और बुढ़ापा, एक के बाद है दूसरा आता। ऐसे ही इस देह को त्याग, और देह यह लेवे धार। देह नाश पर यह ना मरता, ज्ञानी मौत का शोक न करता। क्षत्रियपन है तेरा धर्म, धर्म युद्ध है तेरा कर्म। जीतो तो ऐश्वर्य पाओ, मरो तो सीधे स्वर्ग को जाओ। धर्म युद्ध से भागे जो, अपयश उसका जग में हो। लोग कहेंगे अर्जुन डरता, डर के मारे युद्ध न करता। अपने यश को कर विचार, पाप शत्रु सारे चुन चुन मार। इनका मारन पाप का कर्म, यह है तेरे मन का भरम। कर्म योग तू पहचाने, फिर न ऐसी बात बखाने। कर्म योग है उत्तम ज्ञान, उसकी महिमा करूं बखान। नेक कर्म में चित्त का जोड़, फल की आशा को दे छोड़। कर्म करना तेरा अधिकार, सुख मिले या होवे कष्ट। नेक कर्म तू करता जा, इधर उधर ना मन बरमा। प्राणी मात्र से प्रेम हो तेरा, झूठा बाकी सब बखेड़ा। विषयों से मुख ऐसा मोड़, कछुआ ज्यों ले अंग सिकोड़। संसार सेवा में जो संसार सेवा में हो जा लीन। इंद्रियां रख मन के अधीन। इंद्रियों के जो वश इंसान, है वह मूर्ख और नादान। अर्जुन उवाच, पहले संशय ज्ञान फिर कर्म। मन मेरे में डाला भरम। एक बात निश्चय की कहो, जिससे मिटे मन का मोह। श्री भगवान बोले, कर्म बिना नहीं मिलता ज्ञान। कर्म की महिमा ऊंची जान। कर्म बिना न गुजरे पल, शरीर यात्रा सके न चल। कर्म इंद्रियों जो करके वश, मन में रखे विषय हवस। वो है मूर्ख और नादान, उसको झूठा त्यागी जान। मन वश कर कर्म जो करता, कर्म बंधन में कभी न पड़ता। जिसके कर्म हो लोक के हित, मैला जो ना राखे चित। निष्काम बुद्धि से कर्म कवावे, सच्ची योगी वह कहलावे। फल संग छोड़ कर्म जो करता, वो है भव सागर से तरता। संसार चक्र तू यूं चला, जिसमें हो औरों का भला। मुझ में रख पूर्ण विश्वास, दुख में आवे तेरे पास। नेक कर्म और नेक विचार, हो तेरे जीवन आधार। मुझे नहीं कुछ जग में काम, प्राप्त वस्तु मुझे तमाम। फिर भी सारे कर्म हूं करता, पर लालच में कभी न पड़ता। जब जब घटे धर्म प्रचार, बड़े पाप और अत्याचार। तब तब धर्म स्थापन हेत, युग युग में मैं जन्म हूं लेत। फल सद छोड़ कर्म जो करता, कर्म बंधन में कभी न पड़ता। मुझ जैसे जो कर्म कमावे, पुनर्जन्म में कभी न आवे। जिसके मन में भय न क्रोध, कभी किसी से करे न विरोध। सुख दुख में जिसकी दशा, शांत रहे ज्यों समुद्र अथाह। भूखा हो या हो कंगाल, कुत्ता हो या हो चांडाल। अज्ञानी हो या हो विद्वान, दृष्टि सब में रखे समान। विशुद्ध आत्मा और जितेंद्र, सबको देखे अपने अंदर। संसार व्यवहार चलावे ऐसे, कमल पत्र सरोवर जैसे। निर्मोही हो निरभिलाषी, वही योगी वही सन्यासी, बात कहूं मैं साफ साफ, अपने भलाई अपने हाथ, आत्मा को जो ऊंचा उठावे, परमानंद और शांति पावे, उसको जो देवे गिरा, दुखों से रहे सदा घिरा, आत्मा वश करने की रीत, तुझे बताऊं मेरे मीत, आसन कपड़ा और मृग छाल, चौकी पर दे ले पहले डाल, मस्तक गर्दन और शरीर, बैठे स्थिर कर एक लकीर, मन को इधर उधर से मोड़, अगर नासिका पर्दे छोड़, मुख से ओम ओम उच्चार, अभ्यास करो नित इस प्रकार, युक्त रखकर आहार व्यवहार, ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत को तू धार, कर जो ऐसा योग अभ्यास, पाप ना आवे उसके पास, मुझे जो देखे सबके अंदर, सबको जाने मेरे अंदर, सदा रहे वह मेरे पास, कभी ना होता उसका नाश, मेरा सच्चा रूप पहचान, इस पर नहीं कोई ज्ञान, सैकड़ों सिद्ध ज्ञानी होए, मेरा तत्व न जाने कोई, प्रकृति मेरी दो प्रकार, जिससे रचा यह सब संसार, एक जड़ दूसरा सजीव, यह है सारे जग का बीज, संसार में जितने जीव और जंतु, मैं हूं सबका आदि और अंतु, उनमें रहूं मैं इस प्रकार, मन के ज्यों पिरोए हार, सूरज की प्रभा जल का रस, तेजस्वियों का हूं तेजस्व, पृथ्वी में गंध शब्द आकाश, पुरुषों का मैं हूं पुरुषार्थ, बलवानों की बुद्धि बल, धर्म वालों का धर्म अचल, नक्षत्रों में मैं हूं चंद्र, विष्णु आदित्याओं के अंदर, वेदों में मुझे जानो साम, शस्त्रधारियों में मैं हूं राम, इंद्रियों में मुझे समझो मन, प्राणियों में मैं हूं चेतन, पुरुषों में मुझे राजा जान, सिद्धों में मुझे कपिल पहचान, यक्षों में मैं हूं कुबेर, शिखरों में मैं शिखिर सुमेर, यादवों में मैं हूं वासुदेव स्वरूप, पांडवों में मैं अर्जुन रूप, ऋतुओं में मैं हूं बसंत, मेरी माया है बेअंत, सुन लगा करके तू ध्यान, जो वस्तु है कीरतवान, शोभा वाली और प्रशंस, उसमें जानो मेरा अंश, हे प्रभु हे दीनानाथ, अर्जुन वाचक, हे प्रभु हे दीनानाथ, मुझको किया अति कृतार्थ, ऐसे गूढ़ ज्ञान को सुना, मोह मेरे को दिया मिटा, मोह मेरे को दिया मिटा, विनती करूं जो हो स्वीकार, पापियों के तुम भक्षणहार, साक्षात मोहे दर्श दिखाओ, जन्म मेरे को सफल बनाओ, अति प्रसन्न हुए भगवान, ज्ञान चक्षु कीने प्रदान, और कहा है पांडव पूत, देख तू मेरा विश्व स्वरूप, उसका था ऐसा चमत्कार, जैसे सूरज 1000, एक समय आकाश पे आवे, मिलकर अपना तेज दिखावे, रंग बिरंगे पहने वस्त्र, देह पर सजे अनेकों शस्त्र, स्वर्ण मुकुट चक्र और गधा, धारण था वह किए हुआ, ऐसा अद्भुत देख के रूप, अर्जुन गया आश्चर्य में डूब, हाथ जोड़ किया नमस्कार और कहा, हे अपरंपार, रूप है तेरा कैसा सुंदर, देख रहा मैं तेरे अंदर, सारे देवता और प्राणी, ऋषि मुनि और ब्रह्म ज्ञानी, न है आदि न तेरा अंत, सबका स्वामी तू भगवंत, सारे जीवों का आधार, व्याप्त तुझ में है संसार, विकराल रूप फिर प्रभु दिखाओ, अर्जुन को भयभीत बनाओ, अनेक नेत्र और भुजा करोड़, जबड़े फैले चारों ओर, इतने लंबे लंबे दांत, देख के हृदय जावे कांप, दुर्योधन और कर्ण से योद्धा, द्रोण और भीष्म से पुरोधा, तुम हो अनेकों राजे और महाराजे, उसके अंदर घुसे ज्यों जाते, जैसे वेग से जल का प्रवाह समुद्र में है जा गिरता, दांतों में कई गए पीस, फंसे हुए जबड़ों के बीच, उनको निगल निगल कर आप जीव रहे आनंद से चाट, ऐसा देख भयंकर रूप, होश गए अर्जुन के छूट, विनती करी जोड़कर हाथ, सच कहो प्रभु हैं आप। मैं भगवान उवाच, मैं हूं सब जीवों का काल, क्षय करने आया संसार, सम्मुख योद्धा खड़े जो सारे, ये मैंने पहले ही मारे। तेरा तो केवल है नाम, करता धरता मुझे ही जान। अर्जुन ने कहा, हे अपरंपार, नमस्कार तो हे बारंबार, नमस्कार तो हे उग्र रूप यह देख के तेरा, डर से कांपे हृदय मेरा। तुम हो बस देवों के देव, मैं ना जानूं तेरा भेद। मन मेरे का भय हटाओ, चतुर्भुज मोह रूप दिखाओ, शांत रूप फिर प्रभु बनाओ, भगत अपने को धीर बधाओ। और कहा, हे अर्जुन प्यारे, भाग हैं तेरे सबसे न्यारे, विश्व का रूप जो तुझे दिखाया, पहले कोई देख न पाया। निष्काम कर्म और सच्ची भक्ति, प्रभु मिलन की केवल युक्ति, जो न किसी को देता क्लेश, मन में कभी न लावे द्वेष, सुख दुख में जो रहे समान, उसका हो मेरा प्यारा जान। स्तुति निंदा एक कर जाने, मित्र शत्रु में भेद न जाने, भेद न माने, ये बराबर जिसके मान अपमान, उसको मेरा प्यारा जान। विकार जिसके सके न डिगा, मुझ में रखे दृढ़ निश्चय, कर्म फल को जो मन से त्यागे, वह मुझे अति प्यारा लागे। हर्ष होवे या होवे शोक, मन में रखे सदा संतोष, क्रोध अहंकार हो जिसने त्यागे, वही मुझे अति प्यारा लागे। कई लोग इस जग में रहते, जिनको सब असुर हैं कहते, परमेश्वर को वह न जाने वह न माने, धर्म अधर्म का भेद न जाने, पाप कर्म में रहते लिप्त, कहते झूठा है सब जगत। ऐसा मन में कर विचार, करें पाप और अत्याचार, अन्याय से धन कमाते, विषय भोग में उसे उड़ाते, ईश्वर की निंदा करते, अहंकार से फिरे अकड़ते, ऐसे दुष्ट अभिमानी नीच, गिरते घोर नरक के बीच। और कई इसके विपरीत, तुझे बताऊं मेरे मीत, महापुरुष और महानुभाव, विशुद्ध आत्मा उच्च स्वभाव, लोक हित हैं जिनके कर्म, सत्य अहिंसा जिनका धर्म, तृष्णा रहित कर्म फल त्यागी, ऐसा पुरुष महा बड़बागी। दयावान क्षम के रूप, कहते उनको देव स्वरूप, वह सभी हैं मुझको प्यारे, मैं जाऊं उन पर बलिहारे। तू भी देव स्वरूप है अर्जुन, तुझ पर मैं हूं अति प्रसन्न, अपना अमृत रूपी ज्ञान तुझे बताऊं सुन धर ध्यान। जिसे जानकर पांडव पूत, जन्म मरण से जावें छूट, मैं हूं सबके जानने योग, पर ब्रह्म मुझे कहते लोग। अचिंत अनादि अनंत स्वरूप, अगम अगोचर मेरा रूप, नीचे ऊपर दाएं बाएं व्याप रहे सारे जग माही। मेरा घर न मस्जिद मंदिर, बैठा सबके हृदय के अंदर, सुनता हूं मैं सबकी बात, चारों ओर है मेरा हाथ। सब जीवों का पालन करना, धर्म का दर्ता और संहरता, प्रकृति मेरी दासी जान, जिससे रचा यह सब जहां। तीन गुण प्रकृति में रहते, सत्व रज तम इनको कहते, इनकी तीन गुणों से भाई, आत्मदेव से बांधा जाई। सत्व गुण है सबसे आला, सुख शांति देने वाला, इसका है ऊंचा स्थान, आत्म बांधे साथ ज्ञान। रजोगुण जो पकड़े जोर, आत्म दे काम से जोड़। रागात्मक है इसको कहते, लोभ मोह है इसमें रहते। तमोगुण का है यह हाल, पर्दा से अज्ञान का डाल। निद्रा और आलस में डूबा, कर्तव्य अपने को दे भुला। सात्विक गुण अपने बना, रज और तम को रखे दबा। करे जो सात्विक मन और बुद्धि, निश्चय मिले स्वर्ग का सुख। सात्विक हो जिसकी श्रद्धा, हो उसका सात्विक उत्साह। सात्विक जिसका तप और दान, जिसका सात्विक कर्म और ज्ञान, सात्विक हो जिसका आहार, उसको मिलता स्वर्ग का द्वार। पर जो मुक्ति चाहे मीत, हो जाता तो त्रिगुणातीत। सदा लगाओ मुझ में मन, निश दिन करो मेरा स्मरण। और धर्म सब करके त्याग, मेरे शरण लाग। शरण जो मेरी आन के पड़ता, सारे पाप में उसके हरता। This is that one that we did just now. We are in the 18th chapter. परम धर्म का वह मेरा पाते, लौट जहां से कभी ना आते। मेरा अमृत रूप उपदेश, इसे फैलाओ देश विदेश। नित्य करे जो इसका जाप, पास ना आवे उसके पाप। जो कोई सुने लगा कर ध्यान, वो भी मिलता मुझ में आन। अर्जुन कहा जोड़कर हाथ, हे प्रभु हे दीनानाथ। दूर हुआ मेरा ज्ञान, युद्ध करूंगा निश्चय जान। संजय उवाचा, संजय कहा सुनो धृतराष्ट्र। फतेह खड़ी है वहां बांधे हाथ, जहां मिले ऐसा संयोग। अर्जुन का धनुष कृष्ण का योग। अंतिम विनती हे भगवान, श्रद्धा भक्ति की जो दान। विषय विकार मिटाओ मेरे, शरण पड़ा कमल तेरे। वंडरफुल,
बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब, वंडरफुल।
राज, आखिरी श्लोक जरूर होना चाहिए। आखिरी श्लोक आपको श्लोक फॉर्म में जरूर करना चाहिए। यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो, उसको जरूर पढ़िए।
किया है ना?
नहीं, उसको पढ़ भी लीजिए। आखिरी श्लोक अभी नहीं पढ़ा है।
हाँ, करेक्ट। So the last shloka in Sanskrit is Yatra Yogeshwar Krishno Yatra Partho
Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Prabha।
तो जहाँ पे कृष्ण है और जहाँ पे, this is the reason why you should read, because see, Krishna is your higher self and Arjuna is, or see, Krishna is the thinker, Arjuna is the doer. Krishna is the manager, Arjuna is the worker. कुछ भी लगा सकते हो, up and down, you have many similes, but this is the reason why you should, because वहां पे जहां इन दोनों का मिलन है, आत्मा और प्रकृति का मिलन है, पुरुष और प्रकृति का मिलन है, तो वहां पे क्या है? यत्र योगेश्वर तत्र श्री means prosperity, vijay means victory, dhruva niti, firm steady policy, matir mama, so you will have all these things. So this is the thing.
श्री, विजय, विभूति और अचल नीति।
चार चीजें हैं।
ये रिजल्ट उसका ये है कि ये करने पर आपको ये प्राप्त होगा। तो इसलिए that result is there actually. आपको रिजल्ट,
it is there and it is totally unplanned. I had not even planned to read this. जैसे मैंने कहा था, ये जो गीता सार है, ये मैंने दिल्ली के कनॉट प्लेस के हनुमान मंदिर के साथ में जो छोटी दुकानें हैं, वहां पे मैंने खरीदा ये। इट इज पब्लिश्ड बाय कमल पुस्तकालय। और किसने ये किया? जिसने भी लिखा ये, he has read the Gita up and down. He knows the Gita so well because all the key chapters are and all key concepts are there.
and in संस्कृत में जो श्लोक है वो बिल्कुल इसमें हिंदी में उसने बनाए हुए हैं।
Absolutely, yeah. It is available. It's a book available for 5 rupees. 5 रुपए की किताब।
समय कम है तो आप अगले सेशन का प्लान बता दो कि कैसे हम 42 श्लोकास को करेंगे, तो वो डिसाइड कर लो, क्योंकि खाली 3 minutes are left.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll send the invite for day after tomorrow. We'll not spend too much time. I will in the meantime, share the document. So we'll spend about say 15-20 minutes on a or we can even spend 1 hour on a general discussion.
On Friday, no? On Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah, Friday, right.
Okay, so thank you so much for patiently listening because
thank you so much.
I love Hindi poetry actually.
Okay.
I really love it. So
जुम्मे को.
Okay, right then, Atul, Vishnu, Rakesh, Rajesh, Sunil, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Very good finale to our. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Namaskar.